4 games above 500, good for second place in the division. And with 16 of the next 25 games at home, they'll have a chance to climb even higher.
The Pirates return home. Juan Nicasio on the hill, and a bit of a chill in the air as the Bucks tonight play host to the Cincinnati Reds. Hi and welcome into the booth. Joe Block along with Steve Blass with you here tonight, and the Pirates coming back after a very successful road trip.
Yeah, great 6-3 out west. That's always very good. Now, it wasn't always pretty, but if you're giving up 6 runs, an average of 6 runs a game, and you can score 9, you're going to be okay. So you want to keep the bats hot. It's been phenomenal the way they've been swinging the bat. So we hope they can carry that offense all the way in from Colorado to this homestand and just keep it going. And you don't know how long it's going to last, but you ride it hard as long as it happens.
And Juan Nicasio hoping he'll get a little run support tonight. He is the starter because the game yesterday postponed.
Yep, so yeah, if you're a starting pitcher these days, you want the ball when you're pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates with all this offense. Keep an eye on his control tonight. That might be something to watch because he has been a little bit wild at times. Also, the more movement he gets on that fastball, the better he's going to be. But yeah, you want to ride this offensive storm as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, the Pirates top 3 in baseball in scoring runs. They lead in batting average. They lead in on base percentage. Their bats haven't missed a beat, and they hope to continue doing so here on a Friday night. Rocking here in Pittsburgh. The Pirates and the Reds coming up. To be back here at PNC Park, back to Pittsburgh on a Friday night. The semi-supervillains getting us kicked off tonight. Pirates and the Reds begin this weekend series. And a festive atmosphere here on a little bit chilly night. A nice early spring day for baseball.
Yeah, welcome home after a very interesting road trip. I'll tell you, we came into this season thinking, hey, the pitching again is going to carry this ball club, and we'll hope for some offense. Well, we got a lot of offense. We're hoping the pitching gets squared away, but as long as one of your components is as strong as the offense, well, you can survive. And the Pirates are not only surviving, they're flourishing. And the thing is, with the red-hot Cubs, and they've been red-hot, the Pirates are playing well enough not to get buried, and then the Cubs come into town next week. So we're setting up a situation where we can look forward not only to that series, but let's not forget about this one.
And let's not forget about tonight. So let's look at our Rivers Casino tips to win for this evening.
Well, Nicasio, your starting pitcher is always a key to win. Movement. You'd like to see a fastball with as much movement as possible. We saw a lot of that in spring training. In the first 4 starts, we've seen enough. Control. When he throws a lot of strikes, he goes deep into the ball game. And we all know when he goes deep into the ball game, he wins lots of games. High percentage of career wins. Keep the bats hot. Duh.
Duh.
Enough said.
They've been hot. Look, they're leading baseball in batting average. On base percentage, they're 3rd best in scoring runs. Everybody's getting on base. They're grinding out at bats. And the teams have to throw a lot of pitches to try to get this lineup out.
Everybody happy to see the Bucks back in town. It was a long road trip. It seems longer when you're out on the West Coast. Late nights watching the games on television, listening. So they're back. The time is right. The night is right. Friday night, rocking here in Pittsburgh. The Bucks are back in town.
Yes, finally a little bit more home cooking for Juan Nicasio and company. And tonight's Honda lineup for the Redlegs visiting this evening. Zach Cozart, a .397 start. Eugenio Suarez got a little pop. Of course, Joey Votto does as well. Brandon Phillips back in the lineup, cleaning up. Jay Bruce celebrating fatherhood. Tucker Barnhart, Scott Schebler's the lefty platoon. Dan Straley, the pitcher, bats 8th, and then Billy Hamilton, the speedster, in the 9-hole.
Working against Juan Nicasio, his Hyundai numbers. First 4 starts. That's what it looks like. He won 1, lost 1, won 1, lost 1, so he's due to win this one, start number 5. So we'll hope for 5 or 6 or 7 runs. That makes life easier for any starter. And lots of strikes deep into the ball game. Even though the Pirates had a night off or a day off yesterday, you'd like to save as much of that bullpen and get to it at the proper time in the ball game.
Let's take a look at the Honda defense behind Juan Nicasio tonight. Francisco Cervelli on a free shirt Friday. Got his t-shirt giveaway tonight. Standard outfield, Marte, McCutcheon, and Polanco. Freeze, Mercer, Harrison, Jaso, and the battery of Nicasio and Cervelli.
I had a pleasant thing happen. I pulled into the parking garage tonight, and right behind me, Francisco Cervelli kind of pulled in, so we had a chance to walk up through the garage, through the tunnel toward the Pirate clubhouse, and I've never really had a chance to have much of a conversation with him, but it was enjoyable. I think anybody that runs into this guy has an enjoyable moment or two, and that was a lot of fun. So he's off to a great start and very much an integral part of this baseball team.
And he's giving away free t-shirts.
Yeah, to everybody.
First 20,000 in tonight, get them. And here's how we start.
You can see Cozart off to a great start, .397. Yeah, that plays for sure. Nicasio, career-wise, 0-2 against Cincinnati.
And Cozart, 0-2 on Nicasio.
Looking at and swinging at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Good speed, good control. How about that? You want to throw some good heat in perfect spots, that's what's going to happen.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. How about that location?
That's 3 perfectos. That's all. Simple as that. And Zach, I don't know if you can keep hitting .397 if you're going to see a lot of those kind of pitches. He's off to a great start, but Nicasio is off to a better start tonight.
Sean Barber calling the balls and strikes.
Look at this. Painting pictures on the outside corner of the strike zone.
Ted Barrett down at third base this evening. Crew chief.
Francisco, does he want it in or out? He wants it in, but it doesn't matter where he's throwing it right now. This is reminiscent of that start in spring training where he struck everybody in the universe out.
Command, command, command.
Stay upstairs. Can't go quite that high.
One, two. He struck him out too.
98 miles an hour.
Wow.
That's what you call coming in from the bullpen ready to pitch in the top of the first inning. And that's right down the middle, but that's old-fashioned backyard heat right for you right there, and a lot of it.
The velocity way up early on in this ballgame from his last start.
And you think about Cervelli, why call anything else right now?
Votto off to a slow start, but hitting back up. He's playing catch. Nicasio about 93 to 95 in his last start, and he's surpassed that and then some here in this first inning.
You can throw the ball right down the middle when you throw it that hard. Most of the time, not all the time.
Way late.
Picked something off that time. That's almost cruel to throw at 98 and then throw a perfecta a little bit off of it.
Votto wins that, and I will call that a battle. That's
a reality check. Okay, now I know I can't throw every pitch tonight by people.
Votto, one of the more accomplished hitters in the game, gives the Reds a base runner. Brandon Phillips back in the lineup for the first time since Monday.
So you throw it as hard as you can until they start hitting it, and then okay, we'll start to pitch a little bit.
Phillips hit by a pitch in the finger on Monday. They were scheduled off yesterday, were the Reds, so been off the last three, missed a couple of games.
They're riding a little 4-game skid. They've lost their last 4. The Pirates have won their last 4. Now maybe overthrowing just a little bit, trying to stay with that rhythm he had on the first 2 batters. Sometimes you get in that scenario. Okay, let's take a deep breath now. Let's okay. Found out what we could do early, got away from it a little bit.
Softly hit. And Nicasio, a couple of strikeouts in the first. outside in the top half. Bucks coming to bat. No score here on a Friday night. Cervelli with some sage words for Juan Nicasio. Here's the Pirates' RAV4 lineup for tonight. John Jaso's the man that's going to be leading things off. Andrew McCutchen now in that familiar 2 spot with Freese and Marte to follow. Cervelli on his free shirt Friday batting 5th. Polanco, Harrison, Mercer, a lot of 300s in that lineup. And then Juan Nicasio.
And they'll be working against Dan Straley, making his 3rd start of the year. Started out in the bullpen. The numbers for Dan. The Pirates saw him out of the bullpen in that initial series. Did a little bit of both.
And Brandon Phillips will take care of Jaso.
Straley, 27 years old, out of Redlands, California. Signed by the Oakland A's way back. Had a good year for them in 2013. Here's the man.
Andrew McCutchen. Great road trip. Started to come alive. At 3-home run night Tuesday in Colorado.
Not that he's not done it before, but way back in the day against the Washington Nationals, beat 3 times in a game.
Now, how about that list of the men that have done that in a Pirate uniform more than once?
It's not a real long list.
Stargell, Clemente, Kiner, Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah.
That's it. Those aren't able to stay with it. Dan Straley with 2 outs on 5 pitches.
Well, when you hit the ball that hard, there's time. If you bobble it, you still get the out at first base. Andrew hit that ball right on the button. That's what gave Cozart time to adjust, react.
David Freese at 282. At his first home run as a Pirate on the trip. Well, let's take a look at our barrel league leaders, and when you look at opposing batting average, what do the other guys hit off of you?
Hold it, this guy's ahead of Arrieta.
No. Now, he hadn't thrown that many innings. He's only thrown 18 innings, but
I don't care.
He's so far ahead of him.
That's pretty impressive. So is that.
Oh, a quick inning. That does not happen against this Pirates lineup very often. 3-1, no score.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partners of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit bordaslaw.com. And by Day Automotive, we're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Now that is a way to spend an evening. If you're not going to be at the ballpark, be right near it.
Yeah.
Go fishing.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to cut a hole in the ice right now.
Beautiful spring night here. A little chilly. Bring a light jacket or something tonight. Bucks back in town. Friday Night Rocks here from PNC Park. Jay Bruce just became a dad, welcoming his son Carter to the world this week. And having a better start to the year. Already 4 home runs. That's going to split the gap.
It'll do 2. Might be a possible 3 for somebody else that runs a little better, but that one caught the right center field gap. And now you're looking at Nicasio. He's going to have to get the ball downstairs because the last several swings, the ball upstairs like that, well, major league hitters, you can't throw it by them all night long. And so when they start having swings like that, you bring the ball downstairs.
See if he can work around the leadoff double. Tucker Barnhart, switch hitting catcher.
See, those high fastballs now don't have quite that electricity that they had in the first 2 batters. So go downstairs. They were pretty impressive though against Cosart and Suarez.
And that first inning, 97, 98 even. Been working around 94. Now that one at 96. But up.
There haven't been hardly any deliveries below the waist here yet. Again upstairs.
1-2 now on Barnhart. Always use hashtag BucksBooth if you want to tweet at us. Steve's got his iPhone ready for you.
Yes, I do.
Address all your tweets.
Yes, I do. Yeah, see Francisco with the target down lower that time. And the breaking ball showing them a completely different location. It doesn't have to be a perfect breaking ball. I think it might have been a little bit under the strike zone. It's pretty much an unhittable pitch that will be taking a good bit of time. If you want to take a swing at it, the result is what you're going to be dealing with.
Great look on our Allegheny Health Network Super Mode. Let's see the spin on the slider. Bush with the leadoff double. Now 1 out. Rookie Scott Schebler. Starts against righties in left field, off to a slow start. Has some power though.
And Juan has given up 3 home runs in his first 4 starts. And guys that throw upstairs like he does a good bit of the time are going to be vulnerable to the long ball. It's just the way it works.
Ray Searage has worked extensively with Nicasio. Try to better his command. One of the things that they talked about a lot in spring training with Juan was to pitch every inning like he did last year in relief with the Dodgers, instead of just trying to pace himself and go along, really coming after guys the whole ball game and keeping that rapid pace.
Yeah, well, and don't think about the 7th and the 2nd. Think about the 2nd and the 2nd. Keep track of where you are. Very deliberate pitcher.
But in that first inning, he was really rolling.
Yeah, well, when you're throwing it like that, give me the ball. I'm throwing it really hard right now. Let's stay underneath. If you want to chase that, that's fine.
He's getting a ton of swings and misses tonight.
Well, if you can do that, the upstairs, downstairs, a high fastball, a low breaking ball, change of location, change of speed of pitch. That's a good combination. Where they're looking and what they're seeing. Hitting's tough. I mean, hitting's really tough. Although you wouldn't think about it now with the way the Pirates have been swinging the bats.
And they've been making it look easy. Didn't bite that time. Andrew McCutcheon's been making it look easy. 3 home runs in a night.
That was so much fun to watch.
Had a chance at a 4th. And he struck him out. Already 4 strikeouts.
Going away from that high fastball. He's established it early, and now with the off-speed stuff, he's getting some chases.
He's already gotten 9 swings and misses tonight. And that might already be a season high. I mean, that's how electric this is.
So he's getting the balance now. They're chasing the off-speed pitch. They're chasing the fastball. And that's change speeds. Change speeds. Yep. And you throw it like that right in the outside corner. This could be almost cruel. This at bat.
Straley without a major league hit.
And it's getting crueler and crueler.
Sometimes in the mornings, those are delicious.
Crullers. Crullers. The fancy one, Cruellas. Juan has several options here. 0-2 with the kind of stuff he's showing so far tonight.
Reds bat the pitcher 8th. Got strikeout number 5.
Shades of spring training.
So a leadoff double, and all Nicasio does is strike out the next 3 men in order. What a great start for Juan.
Well, yeah. It's going to get better and better here in this ballpark with the fans and Francisco.
Yeah, he's getting some. Wow.
It gets better and better, I'm telling you. And it's going to get better and better all summer long. It's great.
He can hit, he can catch.
And that is Amore.
He can help you with your love life. Already a fun night here as Juan Nicasio has been dealing. See if the Pirates can get on the board for Juan as Mr. Cervelli out on deck.
I love the content. I love the outfit he wears.
How do you get a robe like that? That was beautiful.
Hey,
There's number on it.
Dr. Love.
I think that was velvet. That's
one of those velvet or velour smoking jackets, lounging jackets. Yeah.
You just see him hanging that one up in his closet. Nice hit for Marte, punching that one right. Pirates with the leadoff man on here in the second. And now here he is.
Hits your eye like a big pizza pie. That's
batting fifth, the catcher, number 29, Francisco Cervelli.
Every once in a while, you get the perfect fit of a player with a personality that just connects with the fans, and that's exactly what you're looking at here.
Easy to see why.
Marte with a nice piece of hitting there to lead off the bottom of the second. Just way outside, just kind of flick it out to right field. Like that.
And leading the league with 7 steals. Hadn't been thrown out yet either.
Tell you, watching those games in Arizona and Colorado, it's just you sit there watching, you know people are going to hit. It's like a tsunami. you know it's going to happen. The Pirates out in front 7-0. Is that safe? Yeah, you know it should feel safe, and it just doesn't. It just doesn't.
Well, the Pirates know that. I mean, the 7-0 lead evaporated, but the Pirates still hanging on and winning in extra innings.
And then the thing on Sunday, last Sunday, whatever that was, that thing, somebody's going to win that ball game.
Another extra inning win in Arizona. Back to a more Earth-like environments.
But they still have to do it, and everybody's doing it. Team batting average of 294.
Just back
in. And when you want to escape getting picked off like that, not a bad idea to come in back of the first baseman. You can find the bag perhaps before he can find you, because he's looking at the catcher, looking for the ball. All you're looking at is that base. Get me back there. Let me see if I can fool him by sliding a hand in, getting back of him. It makes it tougher for that first baseman to make that tag.
Cervelli now ahead on the count, 2-1. Perfect so far. No one in the league with more swipes.
Average lead right there.
Well, 3-1 on Cervelli. He's walked as many times as he struck out. Showing that great eye. Now full 3-2. Oh no,
I thought that was ball 4. I'm waiting for something to happen.
Never saw Sean Barber go up, but Cervelli thought it was a strike. Even when he has a strike on him, he draws a walk. Must be his night. Our Point Park tweets for tonight. Cervelli giving relationship advice is fantastic. And it does happen, I think, most games here at PNC Park. We've seen it a lot here. I'm glad we showed it on TV, too. And it deserves an Oscar.
Yeah, it's some of their best work up on the message board. And they've done great things over the years here at PNC Park. That's near the top of the list.
I think Chris is the one that put that one together on the scoreboard. Great group of guys and gals that make that all happen here. Here's Gregory Polanco, 7-game hitting streak.
Hard setting up shop.
It was so unusual that first inning, a 9-pitch 1-2-3 inning for Straley. That was the shortest inning in terms of pitches seen the Pirates had since Saturday. I mean, in a 9-pitch inning isn't all that unusual, usually. But for the Pirates, it's been.
Looking breaking ball by Straley. Straley's bounced around, originally signed by Oakland, and then this year in spring training, he was with Houston and San Diego.
He traded right before spring training ended, and then claimed on waivers by the Reds. They get one, and they get a pair. Still Marte moves to third, but now 2 gone. First time all year, I should say third time all year, that Polanco's grounded into a double play.
Hot bats just keep coming up.
Well, if you've got a man on 90 feet away with 2 outs, Harrison's been your guy. 333. Angel Hernandez working over at first. With 2 outs and a man in scoring position, already 8 hits.
Whoa, gosh. That's that early commitment. Trying to hold up on the first one, but this one was Gunnar would say couldn't hit that one with a bed slat. Good block, man on third.
Second-year catcher. Marte with that good speed too. Anything close, being far enough away. No break. Straley gets his man after a single and a walk. Man left at third for the Bucks and scoreless through 2.
Here at PNC Park. No score between the Pirates and Reds. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Earlier today, the Pittsburgh Pirates announced contract extensions for the entire coaching staff, including Nick Leva, who's the infield coordinator and first base coach for the Pirates, who's been coaching baseball for over 4 decades. And earlier, he discussed with Clint Hurdle how impressed he was with what he brought to him. Clint Hurdle discussed his reaction to what impressed Leva earlier.
He said, I wish I knew what you knew coming in the door. I wish I'd approached it as you did. I never realized the importance of growing up the coaches first and educating the coaches first and then not letting them go out and teach. I was just all about the players.
And that's saying something when you're Nick Leva, Joe and Steve. When you talk about Leva, who's been around a lot of successful teams, the St. Louis Cardinals of yesteryear, he helped build those teams, and to come over here and see Clint Hurdle in his second managerial job after spending the seasons he did with the Rockies, to leave that kind of impression, that kind of communication, it's no surprise that they want to keep this continuity there with everyone on this Pirates coaching staff who's going to remain here not only through the end of this year, but at least the end of next season.
Yeah, that is great. Nick Leva, of course, has managed also in the big league, so yeah, a wealth of experience, and yep, very solid for a lot of years.
And most of the time, coaches are year to year, and they don't know until the season's over if they're going to be brought back. And to have that kind of continuity and let those guys just relax too. I mean, that's great. And that's great.
How about this?
Nicasio's got 6 strikeouts through 2 1/3.
So you want some speed at the top of the lineup, huh? Well, there's Billy Hamilton batting 9th.
He's not been able to get on base in recent seasons.
Boy, that's a great pitch. I mean, Nicasio is on his game. You see, they made the adjustment from going just from the heat. When that stopped working, okay, now we're going to pitch a little bit. And he is zoned in right now.
His last start, 93 to 95, which is a tick lower than what we see from him. Still awfully good. Tonight, he's dialing it back up. Consistently 96. We've seen even 98 with the fastball. And lots of strikes.
Lots of nice strikes with a breaking ball all of a sudden after being very impressed with the heat. So, yeah. So, don't change a thing. Keep doing it in that zone, in the groove right now.
Easy fly to center.
Routine.
Quick 2 outs for Nicasio. You can show your university pride by attending your school's University Night. Purchase tickets online to join fellow fans and alumni from your school for a night at PNC Park. Plus, you'll receive a Pirates cap in your university colors. So to get yours, purchase tickets at pirates.com/University Nights. Fly ball, left field. Easy play for Marte, and another quick inning for Juan Nicasio. The Renegades. No score on our UPMC scoreboard. Friday night, back here at PNC Park. Buccos back after a long road trip, but a successful one, 6-3.
You know, it's so good. It worked perfectly because you got Friday night, you got a home game. They've just won 4 in a row, so they're back. They're on a winning streak. Hey, come on out to the ballpark.
Jordy Mercer, a big part of why the Pirates are on a winning streak. Yesterday's postponement, so you go back to the last game on Wednesday. He had that 2-out RBI double in the 12th. And several slick plays in the field, especially late in the game. Hamilton can't catch up. Jordy Mercer with a leadoff hit here in the 3rd. Hey, stay tuned after the game for Inside Pirates Baseball. On this week's episode, Dominican players are a major force in Major League Baseball and in the Pirates clubhouse. And the Renegades of the Rotunda take over PNC Park. Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, tonight after postgame, right here on Root Sports. Some of those guys that we will see.
Dominican, yep.
Juan Nicasio. Down a good bunt, too.
Yep, he's doing everything very nicely.
Juan, who was scheduled to pitch yesterday at Coors Field, where he began his career against the Rockies, instead postponed to wintry mix, cold weather. I guess to pitch in front of the home folks, and maybe that extra day doing some good.
I guess we have to get used to reality again, as opposed to arena baseball out on the West Coast in Arizona and Colorado. Or it's just a different feel, different atmosphere. This is quite honestly more like Major League Baseball so far in this ball game. Well, we got a moment. Want to wish happy birthday to Katrina Carl. I'm sorry, Katrina, that we're a little bit late. But they'll go back to March. Wish you a happy birthday. 11 years old, great baseball fan. And we're not even going to tell everybody that your favorite Bucco is Francisco Cervelli, Cat. So happy birthday, belatedly.
Either you're late for this one or early for the next one.
That's right. Got it covered.
2 strikes now on Jaso. Coming into tonight with a .390 on base percentage. He's been just what they've hoped he'd be.
And more.
I would say, yeah. Let's go down to Robbie. He's got a happy birthday, too.
I do. I have a great happy birthday to that man right there. That is Phil Coyne, 98 years of age. He is a Pittsburgh legend, has seen it all, done it all, witnessed it all in Pittsburgh sports. A wonderful young man with a wonderful Pittsburgh family. We hope you're all watching and you enjoyed Phil's 98th birthday.
Wow, absolutely. And still working it.
I've yet to meet Mr. Coyne. I can't wait to do so. I've heard about him.
That's pretty
time.
Impressive. Yep, working the ball games. That's great. There have been so many people in the Pirate organization that have made it a transition like Phil, from Forbes Field to Three River Stadium to PNC Park. I mean, there's traditional stories about families. And, that's so great.
Think about what he's seen in his lifetime. I mean, I don't know if he...
Well, there's a Pirate for life right there.
I don't know if he got tickets to the 25 World Series, but he could have been there to see Walter Johnson and the Senators lose to the Pirates in that World Series. That's amazing. Looking great, too. Andrew McCutcheon on deck. See, so many times down 0-2, working the count full. Put that guy away. Second walk issued by Dan Straley. Hey, and Sunday is Kids Day here at PNC Park, and the Bucks hosting these Reds at 1:35. All kids 14 and younger getting an Andrew McCutchen Silver Slugger plastic bat. Compliments of Highmark. For tickets, go to Pirates.com. You're eligible. You are too. Come on out.
A young rocker on Friday night.
2 men on for the number 2 hitter, number 2-2.
And there's that backdoor breaking ball. Kind of looks like it's going to stay inside, and picks up that inside corner. Dangerous area. Most breaking balls by right-handers to right-hand hitters thrown outside. But the element of surprise sometimes gets you that call.
Straley not a hard thrower. A crafty right-hander.
13 major league wins, 13 losses. We said this is his 3rd start. He's given up a couple home runs. Always take that with a grain of salt when you're talking about Cubs pitchers or Reds pitchers in those homer-friendly ballparks.
And look at how much better an April McCutchen is having. Banged up last year. This year healthy. Starting to come around.
You see the good breaking ball by Straley there. Yeah, that graphic had to be wrong. There's no way Andrew McCutchen could have been hitting 179 last year, but I know he was. And then he got warm times 10.
And getting warm this week out in chilly Colorado. Two on, 1 out. Who's going to strike first?
Little pitching sequence, the breaking ball outside, then the fastball up and in. Well, one thing, you're talking about Straley not being a power guy, and then you combine that with the fact that the Reds are ranked last in the National League in defense, so you want to put the ball in play, and you do that against a guy that's not a hard ball thrower, is going to throw the ball by you, so see what they can do with the gloves.
Marshall, the lead runner. Jaso at first.
Very deliberate. They won't talk things over.
Sometimes a runner at second, what do? They change up the signs?
Oh, yeah, they do that. Want to make sure, but that's not about signs when they've already thrown 3 pitches.
What's number 1 mean again?
Yeah.
I think I know.
Yep. Good breaking ball, and he's got that slider working. You might call it a curve, might call it a slider, but well done, and a big out. He's made a couple real good pitches. First one for the double play, and then this perfected breaking pitch.
It looks like a changeup.
Well,
actually,
it's got the break on it. Yeah. Maybe a cut changeup.
Yeah, it looked like a cutter when you watch it live, and then you see the grip, and I guess that's a changeup. We're watching in slow motion. We can't figure it out.
No,
imagine
whatever.
live speed.
I got the label for it. Perfecta.
Well, you take it, it's a strike, and swing it, and dips out of the zone or close to out of the zone at the last minute. Frees a strikeout victim back in the first. Pirates trying to make Straley work, but he's been pretty efficient so far. This one might get down. It will. Mercer's in to score. 2-out hit for David Freese, and the Pirates on top 1-0.
Got jammed a little bit, but was able to push it out to right field in front of Jay Bruce. And you always feel good with 2-out offense. So now you talk about him being efficient. Maybe we can hit for 20 minutes. Take that efficiency tag away from him. See the ball on the inside part of the plate. See the hands out in front. Bat stays back.
So moving to third on that base hit. Marte, cleanup man with a base hit back in the second. I like that thought, Steve. Keep the line moving.
Yep. Kick the can down the street. Keep kicking it.
And 2-0 on him. Marte, a really good piece of hitting last time up.
Yeah, took a pitch that was on the outside corner or wider. Just kind of flicked it out into right field. Discouraging for the pitcher throwing that kind of good pitch. Well, there you got it right there.
Let's go Bucks.
He's even thinking pierogies, drooling a little bit. I'd like to have about 4 or 5 pierogies right now.
And once they mash that up into baby food, I think someone's going to have a big seller.
As long as you deliver it like the airplane, when you do the little kids, here it comes. They're always fascinated with that delivery.
Airplane or the choo-choo train? We've been using choo-choo train lately, so I'll have to try the airplane next time Nancy's not so.
I got one of those train whistles if you want to borrow it. Use it for the coal train.
Stopped by Suarez, taking a run away. But the Pirates on top, 1-0 through 3. Friday night in Pittsburgh, 1-0 Pirates. Thanks to David Freese's 2-out run scoring single. Jordy Mercer coming home after leading off the inning with a base hit. 2 ladies and 30 stadiums. Well, we now know your favorite. Look at that. Great images.
Quite a project.
Labor of love.
Yeah, that's baseball fans right there. Fans of baseball.
Here's Votto to start the Reds' fourth. I still haven't been to all 30. I got 2 left, and one we'll see this year, Oakland. I've been outside it. I've never been inside. I think they'll let me in this time. And that's the other one I haven't seen, Camden Yards.
Rose Park at Camden Yards. That was kind of the, was that maybe the first retro kind of throwback?
Get everybody trying to, copy that over the years. Little parts of it.
Yep.
And rightfully so. So well done.
Nothing prettier than this one.
This is right there.
And it's been documented too. It sounds like
it gets my vote.
Yeah. It's just not the company line.
Well, having come here a lot as a visitor, I've always wanted, this was the spot. And our vantage point is higher up than a lot of the other places. We get to see the bridges.
The background, we call it the movie set.
It really is. You can't make a better picture. Casio just missing.
Yeah, and this is not even a pretty night. This is not the prettiest night, but the ballpark still carries the evening.
Just as charming. Payoff to Votto. Walks him. First walk issued by Nicasio tonight. And here's tonight's Allegheny Health Network injury update. And the Cubs playing without a couple of their key everyday players. Chris Bryant leaving yesterday's game with a sprained ankle, out for today's game, though not going to go on the DL. And Miguel Montero is on the DL now. Lower back stiffness. He'll miss the series when the Cubs come to town. They follow the Reds.
That always is the X factor. Everybody thinking that the Cubs are going to win every game all year. They're going to sweep the season. But got to stay healthy.
Hey, so far they've done a decent job with the high expectations. But
oh yeah, well they're playing great. Who's the young man, the outfield on the DL or out for the year? Schwarber, yeah, Schwarber's out. Little tweak for Bryant. Well, you got to keep your guys healthy. Simple as that. Part of the deal.
Juan Nicasio starting off this inning with a walk. First time he'd done that. Right away, Cervelli coming out after ball 1 to Phillips.
Quite a tandem, this Votto-Phillips combination. They played a lot of games together.
992 starts together. Deep into center with McCutchen. Able to get there. Talking with McCutchen the other day about playing more shallow. He said it's felt like an adjustment. It's not been natural right away, but he feels like it's the best thing. And he says it's certainly more of a cardio workout for him because he's had to do a lot more running.
Sure. Well, that's something he's very good at.
His whole outfield. He's got that speed. Might as well take advantage. One plays that shallow though for Jay Bruce.
Enormous power.
Doubled his first time.
Remember Jay Bruce coming on the scene as a rookie, much ballyhooed coming up through the system, very much a blue chipper. And early on, one of his first series or first appearances in the big leagues, I think, was against the Pirates. Very impressive.
Behind 2 strikes. He came up and it was in the Futures game. He was Baseball America's minor league player of the year.
Yep. We all knew that name.
12th overall pick back in 05.
He was kind of that era's Bryce Harper, perhaps, along those lines. Everybody saw him coming.
Pirates had their choice of Andrew McCutchen or Jay Bruce. They took Andrew McCutchen.
Worked out just fine.
Reds didn't get a bad player either, but you know who won that deal. Isn't that something though, when you look back at those drafts? That is, I mean, especially with prep players. How do you know what you're getting? It's an educated guess.
It's an unknown science. It's tough to project what a young man at that age is going to do.
That one being one of the deeper drafts, as it turns out. Going back to see, all right, who could we have picked? Justin Upton going first, Alex Gordon.
That guy's pretty good right there.
Garrett Cole, #1 pick overall.
Yeah, that's worked out fine.
It doesn't always when you have the top overall pick. You'd think you get the pick of anybody, and sometimes those guys don't even make the major leagues. Very rarely, but
it's so wonderful in its own way, in kind of a convoluted way on the other side, that it's not automatic. You don't want the game to be. It's very human.
And it's well documented. There's a lot of guys that they picked very late that still make their way in, or not even at all. 2-2 here on Bruce. Very quick 3 innings for Nicasio. Not quite in that same command here in the 4th. Barnhart due up next. The shift down. Harrison making a nice play to get an out.
Beauty. Made something out of not much of an opportunity. Didn't have a chance to do much and did much. That one will get a circle. Hard hit ball. Down on the dirt. Every pitcher loves that play. I love my second baseman.
Now 2 outs for Barnhart, who he struck out back in the 2nd. Great first step, reacting to that ball.
And then the not panic factor when he's down on his belly trying to get rid of that ball before he hits the ground again after the bounce.
You try to make a throw in that position accurately. It's not easy.
No.
He's at it again. Leadoff walk stuck. And the Pirates take a 1-0 lead to the 4th. Automotive this day in baseball history. Back in 1990, the Pirates won their 6th straight as they beat the Padres 10-1. The offense powered by 4 home runs. Barry Bonds with a 3-run shot, breaking a 1-1 tie in the 4th. Jay Bell also hit a 3-run home run, while Don Slaught and Bobby Bonilla each had solo home runs, and Doug Drabeck, 6 strong, picking up his 4th win of the year. How about some of those names? Cervelli to lead it off. Of course he didn't go. It's his t-shirt night. Cervelli, Italian heritage.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up in Venezuela. Very much identifies with both nationalities.
By the way, Drabeck picking up his 4th win in that ball game, on his way to 22 wins in the Cy Young Award. 22-6, I believe. Just great year.
And he wasn't even an all-star that year. It still boggles my mind.
Well, if you got to pick one or the other, if you have to.
Give me the wins. Three and one.
Yeah, speaking of home runs, a bunch of home runs in that game. Christopher Parker Blass at age 12 hit his first Little League home run last Saturday. I was there to watch it. We are now tied for career home runs with 1 apiece. Grandson. Told him I'd mention that, so thanks for the indulgence.
That's one more than I ever had, so wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah, what a thrill. I mean, it was neat.
Cervelli works the leadoff walk. A couple of base on balls for him tonight. 3 issued by Straley.
Pirates continue to get people on the base paths. What do they say? If you throw enough against the wall, some of it's going to stick. And that's been the theme of the month of April.
And in the first half of this part of the season, the narrative was
it didn't stick much.
Yeah, it's not sticking very much, but you knew it was going to with all the chances, and now they're scoring runs like crazy. It evens out. But the one theme is they've had a ton of base runners. And if you look at what they've done already this year, they're on a pace to have the most base runners in a season ever. Now, it's early.
It's hard to maintain this. It really is hard to maintain.
But that shows you how much they've been getting on base. It's crazy. Very rarely do you see more than 1 or 2 guys at most in a night, have kind of a rough night at the plate, swinging at pitches outside the zone. Almost every guy every night is showing great plate discipline. It's incredible. Gregory Polanco, the poster child for that. Thinking about his ascension. You look at that on-base percentage. The team has not had an on-base percentage like that to end the season since 1950. That's a great start.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Polanco, more walks than strikeouts. Getting on base at a .433 clip coming in. I mean, what a great rise here in April. Now keep it going, but a great start. Glenn Hurdle acknowledging that as well. Great start, but you got to
operative word. Start. Yeah.
You're saying in the open, though. I mean, this we thought, okay, maybe they're going to struggle to score some runs a little bit because of the power that's not quite there. We see there's still enough power there, but this,
especially recently.
Yes.
Once again, the wonderful thing about baseball, go figure. See if you can figure this game out and predict what's going to happen. You get all this compilation, all the research, which is great, and it sets the percentages with you. Hello.
That's just some bad luck. Hard hit, but right into a double play.
That was a rocket.
Votto not guarding the line there. but with a lefty batter up.
It doesn't look like a struggling defensive team so far tonight.
Hold on the runner.
Well, that ball's down into the corner, and the race is on. Yeah, go ahead and figure. You hit the ball that hard, you should get something out of it. Good reactions by Joey Votto.
Yeah, nobody on at first. Might be shaded a bit that way, but I don't think he gets there. Josh Harrison making that very nice play in the top half of this inning.
Now, Gregory, you can't hit it much harder.
Well, when you evaluate, what a player does, sometimes if you make an out, it's still a good at bat, right?
Yeah, but don't go tell him that for a while. let go of some steam first.
I can't believe it. This one hit deep to right field, and there it goes! A home run for Josh Harrison.
His first.
And the Pirates on top 2-0.
So Josh, after sparkling with the glove and struggling mightily in his first at bat, chasing all kind of pitches, sends this one over the fence in right field, opposite field home run.
Got a meaty 3-1 pitch from Dan Straley. That's a good swing.
Yeah, because you know what happened after the swing.
I felt like he stayed on the ball there, let it kind of come into the strike zone a little bit more.
Yeah, he certainly did.
Yeah.
Yep, good stuff.
But you're right, I was cheating.
You've seen that movie before.
Yeah. And then he breaks the light tower. Good sound.
The short porch in right field. Conducive.
He makes a great play in the field in the top half. It's a home run in the bottom half. Got the uniform dirty. Nice easy ride around the bases. Nothing. Mercer already with a base hit. He scored the other run. The Pirates are scoring first. Last 4 games now, and generally speaking, that puts you on the right path. Now the 2-2. Straley getting close to throwing as many balls as strikes. Not quite the ratio you want there.
Well, you look at this Cincinnati team during the offseason, spring training. People thinking because Frazier's gone, Chapman's gone, they're going to be struggling, but they've kind of held their own until this last 4-game skid.
Pirates getting a run thanks to Josh Harrison's first home run of the year. back in town. Josh Harrison with the home run. Look at some of our Point Park tweets. Jay doing it all, especially in that 4th inning. Flashing a glove, showing some pop. Clearing the deck from Peppermint Patty. Nothing he can't do. That's Jay all day.
It covers it.
He had gone 406 plate appearances without a home run, which surprised me. Think about that. I bet you they'll be coming with a lot more frequency.
Yes, they will. They'll get his share.
Scott Schebler to start off the Reds' 5th. One of 6 strikeout victims against Nicasio that first time around on the order. Kind of wavering with command last inning, still ended up getting through it just fine. 16 pitches. No one ever got in scoring position. That was like a bowling ball rolled up the line there.
Wasn't quite sure what he was trying to do. I don't know if they just lost a grip, didn't get the handle on the ball, or I'm almost thinking he was expecting that ball to go foul. And then, okay, I've got to make a play on this thing.
That's tough with that guy running right up the line. Let's see.
It looked like it might spin over, and now, yeah, he's got the runner right, and now off balance throw, and it didn't have a good feel at that point right there. And then, yeah, he's trying to get a grip on the ball. That could have been partially a grip situation.
The runner's supposed to stay inside the line too. Not that that would make that play much easier for him, but certainly with Schebler, as most runners do, running on the left side of the line like that. Now the pitcher bats 8th for the Reds, so Straley trying to sacrifice.
I was a pain in the neck on that kind of play when I was running, because I would try to throw my arms around, try to get hit with the ball. It was just so silly. I knew the pitcher or the catcher or the pitcher was in back of me, and okay, let's see what I can do to jump out there and illegally run or flop around, and it very seldom worked.
You looked like you were on fire.
Yeah.
I wish there was video of that. It's a good bunt. Tie up there, but no big deal. So Straley gets the sacrifice down 2-4 it goes. And Nicasio had a very economical 59 pitches here in the 5th. You and I were talking about it, and a lot of times when pitchers go 6 innings, the team's going to win the ball game because they're pitching well. But with Nicasio, because pitch counts can get high sometimes, can get himself out of ball games with walks sometimes. On a night like tonight, to see that number, that's great. It looks like he's on pace to get into the 6th and maybe beyond that.
Well, his stuff certainly is good enough tonight. And there's zeros up on the board. That's the bottom line. Is the Reds have not scored yet.
Results-oriented business. Hamilton trying to bunt off to a sluggish start.
Well, when he does and it's fair, it's always an adventure with his speed.
Maybe the fastest in baseball.
Maybe.
But like so many great speedsters, the great speedsters, not the great hitters and speedsters, but the great speedsters, it's almost always a struggle. The really, really fast guys, the track athletes. It seems like it makes guys like Ricky Henderson so amazing.
That bounces. It didn't come down, you can get him. That comes down on the dirt. He beats it out, but it stayed up. Francisco got out there. Nice play. Maybe a subtle play that should have more appreciation than you might give it. Got it before it got down on the grass. That's nice. That's good work.
that look easy. Still only got him by 3/4 of a step.
We got to get John Jaso to grow about 4 inches this summer. Get 4 inches taller. It'll make life easier for him.
Schebler's down at third. And no time at bat for Hamilton, credited with a sacrifice there. Zach Cozart 0 for 2. Official score awarding a sacrifice. It doesn't always have to be that way if the runner advances on a bunt. I think with his speed, he was trying to get on, but
when that's part of your game, sacrifice seems like an awkward word. Even when he's trying to push somebody over to a base, he's running for a base hit with his speed.
Tuck in that chain.
2-0 lead. You'd love to leave that runner on third base. Obviously, not much wiggle room as we play here in the 5th.
A 2-1 on Cozart. Casio still at 96 here in the 5th inning. Velocity's been consistently up throughout this start.
And a challenge for Nicasio. This is the hot bat for the Reds. Coming into the game at 397. And you take a look at
the only
Schebler over third.
The only game he didn't get a hit in was Jake Arrieta's no-hitter.
Who will we see next week? He's continuing his historic run. Worthy of a conversation with the home plate umpire if you're Zach Cozart. Ball off the inside corner. Francisco sets up here. Looks like he wants it away. See the target. Pitch nicely delivered.
At 98.
Yep.
And Nicasio dealing tonight. Struck out 6 of the first 9 he faced. None since, but leadoff walk, worked around that in the 4th. Leadoff single here in the 5th. Now Schebler at third. 2 outs. 2-2 to Cozart.
And you bring up a good point. All those strikeouts involving what, the first 3 innings, primarily the first 2 innings, most of it. So in a tight ball game, okay, he's not striking people out. We're going to keep obviously a watch on him as you would with any starter, but that big drop off perhaps from the strikeouts to putting the ball in play, so that draws your attention. The point I'm making, he's having to pitch more, and he does right there. Nice job going away from the fastball, getting the out. Nice reach by John. Shutout intact.
Nicasio's blanked the Reds through 5.
Pirates baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Malibu and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. Our service centers are now open evenings and weekends. Visit barrelservice.com for more. Let's go Bucks!
Beautiful night here in downtown Pittsburgh. 2-0. Pirates have the lead on Nicasio. He's been pitching brilliantly through 5 innings.
Good swing there, but kind of a idea of happy feet. For example, very happy feet.
And he'll make the first out.
And while I have a moment, I want to send along some thanks to Dr. John Zatelli. I had some skin issues while you guys were away, and he took good care of that. Great surgeon, dermatology. But the main thing, John was fine, but his staff of Paula, Rachel, Sharon, Morgan, and Lynn were great. And I've applied to try to go back for a checkup 3 or 4 times a week. And if John can be there, that's fine. But thanks to all the folks in the Zatelli Broadland office for taking care of some skin issues. By the way, when people tell you to take care of the skins, the sunscreen and all that sort of thing, pay attention to it, because that phrase of skin cancer is not a fun phone call to get. So, thanks, John.
We'll be remembering that on Sunday with Sun Smart Day here and all around the ballparks in Major League Baseball. It's a good reminder.
It is very real, and pay attention. It is real.
Especially those of us without the hair. 2 outs for Straley. New bar here.
Wait a minute. I didn't know you were going corporate on us.
Well, you know, part of the
nice part of the contract.
Part of the deal for me coming here is.
All right.
I got my own bar out there. That's in left field, I believe. I still haven't been out there yet. I might leave you next inning if that's okay, and just work my way down there.
No, the answer is no. You know,
make some new friends.
Part of the corporate community now. I'm going to have to go out and check that out.
Looks like a fun place.
They were going to have me do that before they gave it to you. They were going to call it Blockheads instead of Blockhouse.
Andrew McCutcheon tonight, 0 for 2. Now ball and 2 strikes.
How do you make this adjustment after the road trip? All this offense, now you got all this pitching going on tonight. I mean, this has got to be a different kind of a little culture shock for you.
Just missed that one. Yeah, it's back to, as you said, the
reality of Major League
Baseball. Yeah. There were a number of balls. Now, the ones that McCutcheon hit in Colorado, those were legit home runs. And most of the ones that the Pirates hit on the trip would have been home runs in any ballpark. Especially the ones in Arizona, which were all 450 plus.
Crazy, crazy distance.
David Freese hit his first. McCutcheon down on strikes. A 1-2-3 inning for Straley. Bucks still on top, 2-0. night for Juan Nicasio. Beautiful images on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. That's your former teammate Orlando Pena? Who is that?
No, it's not.
Is that
not
Garrett
Jones? No, it is not.
Jermaine Allensworth?
No. Not a lot of people. That's just him.
Tom Prince?
Being himself. Well, this is the guy who's been himself, Juan Nicasio. He's been absolutely terrific tonight. He's allowed 3 hits and no runs through the first 5.
Eugenio Suarez before Votto and Phillips. Suarez has had a nice start to the year. Really came on in his first year with the Reds last year. Well, the way that Nicasio has worked around the leadoff man being on in 3 of the first 5 innings has been impressive too. Won't be here tonight in this inning. 7 strikeouts for Juan Nicasio. Fireworks lighting up the sky here in Pittsburgh tomorrow at PNC Park as you will see the Pirates and the Reds at 7:05. Stay after the game for a spectacular Zambelli fireworks show presented by 93.7 The Fan. For tickets, go to pirates.com. Come on out and join us tomorrow night. Pirates winners of 4 straight.
Yeah, join us, including Ken Tekulve, who, by the way, joined me. We had a nice day last Monday out at Longwood with some fellow seniors. Teak and I did a wonderful job. We had a nice visit with a lot of folks out in Longwood, out in the Oakland area.
I just think it's cool to be around you guys.
Well,
it's been
you'll get over that.
It's cool to think who I get to work with.
Well,
beats Bob in accounting, or whoever. I don't know if there's a Bob in accounting here with the Pirates.
Oh, you know there is. Hey, wait a minute, buddy. You'll have to host him.
I should have said Sam.
Yeah, you'll have to host him at the blockhouse.
Yeah, that's it. 2-2 on Votto, who's been on both times.
Location right there. Joey Votto, one of those great hitters. This is great for kids to see. Not afraid to choke up. Not only not afraid, but very effective choking up.
Strikeout number 8.
Juan Nicasio bringing it. And how about the security right now existing out in the Pirate bullpen? They've had a busy couple of weeks, and now here's Nicasio bringing it in. And we've talked most of the game about how effective he is the deeper he goes into the ball game, and that's really playing out right now.
Only 77 pitches here. I've only seen a Pirate starter recorded out in the 7th once in the first 22 ball games of the season. That's something that has been an Achilles heel so far, is that length of the starting pitcher. The bullpens haven't been used not the way that Clint Hurl necessarily wants to use it every night. John Neese is the only one that's gone 7 so far.
Thank goodness for the hitting.
Yeah, the hitting's been tremendous. And the pitching's going to come around. We know that.
It'll carry the hitters when they're struggling.
You look at what the bullpen has done. Last July, for instance, they had a higher ERA than they have had in this first month of the season. But they still led all of baseball in ERA last year. Everyone can have a bad month. And even then, it's not a bad month. It's a so-so month. Pirates bats have bailed them out when they have landed.
And Nicasio continues to force the issue. He's delivered 1 walk, so he's been out in front a good bit of the time. Keep the pressure on.
One and 2 on Phillips.
Easily done.
Wonderful for Juan Nicasio, and his Friday night is rocking.
Sixth inning. Some news today out of Cincinnati, Ohio, just about 2 miles away from the Great American Ballpark, and that is at the site of the former Crosley Field that played home to the Cincinnati Reds from 1912 to 1970. That's Johnny Bench helping with the painting there, putting up a mural depicting the Reds' old ballpark, and the home plate area of the old Crosley Field is still marked there. And there's a photo of Johnny Bench taking a snapshot of the place where he did some of his best work in a Hall of Fame career for Johnny Bench. Originally it was called Redland Field back in 1912 when it started. The mural should be done pretty soon. It's great stuff, Steve. I know you have a lot of great memories playing against Johnny Bench and a lot of great memories at that ballpark in Crosley Field.
I do not have great memories of playing against Johnny Bench. Strike that from the record. But it was an honor to compete against guys like that. And Bench came on the scene. One of my first experiences with Johnny Bench was when he hit a ball, I think, through the big scoreboard up over the terrace in left center field. I mean, just a rocket. And he just came on the scene and just never looked back. Never, ever looked back. Johnny Bench, one of the all-time best.
Some Reds fans making their way in, and that's the Johnny Bench jersey number 5 there.
That big red machine, I'll tell you, the decade of the 70s with the Pirates and the Reds. Some really, really good baseball, excellent baseball.
You did pretty good against Bench, 260. That's all he hit off you.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah, I would have guessed lower, but then you got the actual thing. I would have wished lower.
That's not that bad. Freeze down on strikes to start off the 6th.
Let's take a look at old Crosley with that famous terrace.
Look at that. And by terrace, you mean the outfield was,
you went up a hill.
Higher.
Yeah, you actually went up a hill. There's a scoreboard that Bench destroyed. You could see that curve in the foul line, letting you know there was a terrace there.
So you're actually standing higher than
the
players.
Yeah, as you went up close to the home run fence, you had to climb.
Hot shot. Base hit and more for Marte. He's going to think 3, and he puts on the brakes.
Good thought of putting on the brakes.
Schembler got him to throw, and Marte with his 2nd hit tonight.
And one quick story about Johnny Bench. We're going to take a look at this replay first of all, because he just absolutely roped that ball past Suarez down into the corner, and the fact that that ball went down and didn't jump out back into fair territory gave him the thought of trying to think that he could make 3. He's got it in front of him now, and he's thinking about it, and then wisely shuts it down. You don't want to have that leadoff double be coming out at third base. So the Pirates in business, and You wouldn't think they need to add a lot on, but you want to add as much as you can, especially based on the last week.
Marte among the leaders in a lot of categories. Now doubles, he's second. Brandon Phillips playing right up the middle for Cervelli, who's walked both times.
He's going to try to punch the ball the opposite way. So interesting. They set up to keep an eye on Marte. Cervelli looking at that big hole between first and second to try to move Marte over. There's a great camera shot showing what the opportunity for Cervelli is and what Phillips is trying to do. Kind of darned if you do, darned if you're not for Phillips. He's given up a lot of real estate to keep track of the runner.
If he's not there, how far can Marte get off the bank?
Well, it depends on how far away he is. If he's got to give up some ground as the pitch is delivered. Anyway, the quick bench story. I played in one All-Star game and I went into the locker room. It's fabulous to go in an All-Star locker room. And the bench was sitting next to me in the locker. He said, "You're going to pitch the third inning. What signs do you want to use?" And I said, "Well, John, every time I pitch against you, you seem to know what's coming. So why don't you just wing it?" So we had a good laugh about that. But what an absolute great baseball player, Johnny Bench.
Some say the best catcher of all time.
Yep, some do. I know there were several times when we played against the Reds when he was catching where if we tried to steal a base, if you were a Reds pitcher, you better duck. I mean, he had a rocket of an arm.
J.J. Hoover, the deposed closer of the Reds, starting to loosen. Elizabeth native. Free Shirt Friday.
Find a way to push this runner at second base around the base paths. If it hadn't been for Johnny Bench, Manny Sanguillen would have gotten a lot more recognition.
That's a great point.
As one of the premier catchers of that decade. Sanguillen, a member of the Latino Hall of Fame, and I don't think there's one catcher in the Hall of Fame that has a higher lifetime batting average than Manny Sanguillen has.
To Suarez, hold the runner. So Marte at second with 2 outs now. And Steve, you're right. I remember looking that up in spring training. I think Sanguillen a 296 career average and 5,000 or more at bats. No catcher with a higher average, not in the Hall of Fame.
And no catcher has ever flashed as many smiles to as many baseball fans or anybody than Manny Sanguillen.
Gregory Polanco, a grimace though after hitting the ball hard last time, lined into a double play. A 2-out chance here.
So we pick this run up. The ball game's still very much in the balance. Oh, the mistake.
1 to 6 to 5. And that ends the threat.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
7th inning. And the Pirates shutting out the Reds so far, 2-0.
And bear with me for a moment, all that talk about Crosley Field. I forgot about David Freese striking out, so it was not a leadoff double as I had marked on my card. So all that business at second base was moot point.
Jay Bruce giving it a ride. Polanco there, 1 pitch, 1 out for Juan Nicasio.
And a nice run as he continues to work here in the 7th inning.
He hasn't thrown more than 16 pitches in an inning. Great consistency tonight.
We talked about one of our tips to win, his control. The ability to throw strikes makes you more efficient. That's where he is.
1 walk, 8 strikeouts. He walked Votto in the 4th. Everybody walks Joey Votto now and again. Barnhart hitting this in 2 trips. 8 of those. And room for more because that pitch count is low. Glenn Hurdle's got to like this. Postponement yesterday helped the bullpen, but Nicasio really helping tonight. And both teams really, because both the Reds and the Pirates have been so far 3.5 weeks in among the bottom teams in getting length from their starting pitching. Dan Straley's also doing a nice job tonight.
It always sets the tone. By the way, career strikeout high for Nicasio is 10.
That one just missing, 3-2. Came back with the Rockies 5 years ago. Almost 2-1 strikes to balls. That's what you want. But behind here, I think this is a great test this inning. You know, if he has another good inning, you know, now he's really working into the 3rd time around. I mean, there was a question mark. You know, he got moved into the rotation. You know, is this a guy that can get guys out that 3rd time around? So far, he's gotten all 5.
Still getting it there, 95 miles an hour. That's thin air when you get a starter going into the 8th inning anymore.
Sometimes around in the order there. Usually it gets worse for pitchers the more time the hitters see you.
But if you're facing in the 3rd time, you're doing something right to get there.
That's a great point. Right to J.A.
And you need that every once in a while when they tattoo a ball, the atom ball. That extends outings.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in high definition on more than 400 supported devices. That includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for more details.
When you look at Nicasio too, as we said, 4 starts, good, bad, good, bad. So he's due for a good one, and he's right on time. Every other one has been good.
They need a new baseball because Cervelli bounced it back on the return throw after that last pitch.
You mustn't use a ball that touches the dirt or gets scuffed or looks anywhere soiled. And that makes you remember the days of a kid when you taped them up with electrical tape to use them.
Made out of a tennis ball and then put some tape around it to give it a little weight.
Yeah, and then put a screw in a broken bat, put it back together. And all right, let's choose sides.
Two and two. Hey, you hit a ground ball, it gets thrown around the horn, thrown right back to the pitcher. Good location in the 7th. This is his 95th pitch of the evening.
And you go back to after the blow 'em away fastballs in the first 2 innings, then the adjustment to pitching and throwing some very, very impressive breaking balls, off-speed pitches, breaking balls, a couple of slower ones. So, yep, the 8 strikeouts, a lot of heat, a lot of really quality pitches thrown.
3-2 on Barnhart.
Put a lid on this 7th inning right here, Juan. This is it'll be nice and tidy, and then we'll see what happens.
He has retired 8 in a row.
This would make it clean. You'd love clean in the 7th inning, especially just 2-0.
3-2. He'll try another.
There's confidence going away from the fastball. Confidence in his ability to throw that off-speed pitch for a strike.
And Cervelli's been just calming him down. He kind of threw ball 1 in an inning after that leadoff walk in the 4th. Just came out. Try to keep him right, keep him working quickly. 3-2 again. Softly hit.
Love it. Clean work.
Juan Nicasio with 7 shutout innings. Retiring the last 9 men he's faced. Semi-supervillains on our Friday Night Rocks, and on the UPMC scoreboard 2-0 Buccos. Very well pitched ball game on both sides, especially by that man. Look at that. 7 shutout innings for Juan Nicasio.
That is like a wonderful lightning bolt after all the craziness of the games out there to settle everything down completely. And it all comes from your starting pitcher. That's the way the game is designed. Like a breath of fresh air from a pitching standpoint.
And Straley went 6 for the Reds. Gave up 2 runs, but on the line for the loss. Blanco was batting when Marte was caught stealing the end of the 6th. That's how it officially goes down. And Nicasio 8 Ks tonight, 1 walk, 3 hits. We've seen him with the capability of doing it, and he did it tonight.
Again. Smoking.
Let's go back to the studio. Rob King's got a game break.
Homer happy Mets.
You remember last year at this time, and maybe even in midseason, the Mets could not score. Eric Campbell was their cleanup hitter. And all of a sudden now we're talking about the Mets as a pennant-winning team, potent offense.
That's right. The most popular Collins in New York was Tom. They wanted to run Terry out of there.
J.J. Hoover out of Elizabeth, so homecoming.
And it has been a struggle for Mr. Hoover. 7 2/3 innings, 13 earned runs.
He was the closer to begin the year. And Brian Price has jettisoned some of their relievers. Jumbo Diaz, one time a Pirate farmhand, sent down to the minors. Rich is trying to piece it together out of the bullpen. They've had a lot of injuries. Of course, trading away Aroldis Chapman hasn't made things easier.
Yeah, that gives you kind of a trickle-down effect, and not in the best direction.
Josh Harrison homered his last time.
You know, we haven't seen tonight is anybody get hit, because both of these teams, the last 4 years, have hit each other 37 times. It's kind of ironic. And there have been incidents and allegations involving those 37 plunkings.
Someone needs a bodyguard. And you can be my long lost pal.
Okay, you can call me Al.
2-2. Suarez. Corner's been hot tonight. Getting that roller. 2 away for Hoover. Let's take a look at our Nissan road ahead. Pirates back home, hosting these Reds for a weekend series. Alfredo Simon, who they've seen a lot already this year. Liriano goes tomorrow, and then Jeff Locke coming off that shutout performance of his own. Raizel Iglesias with the Reds' best starter at the beginning of the year.
Francisco, well, there's the 2 principals right there we're talking about.
Another base hit for Mercer.
Well, isn't that a wonderful part of the Pirate story so far? Jordy Mercer coming out of the chute, swinging the bat good, and good shortstop as he always does. Right over the right shoulder, Mr. Hoover.
Two-hit night for Mercer. Pitcher spot now comes up, and Matt Joyce pinch hitting for Nicasio. 7 scoreless for Juan Nicasio. And Tony Watson get loose. He got 13 swings and misses tonight, did Nicasio.
And they're evenly distributed. Fastballs and sliders almost even.
Give me an idea that Nicasio struggling against the Tigers earlier this month, only able to go 3 innings, and he only got 2 swings and misses in that entire outing. And you know, he threw about as many pitches as he did tonight in that same outing. But you know, that swing and miss stuff, when he's got that, boy, he can be as good as anybody.
And you look and you wonder, and you cannot make any judgments yet because it's so early. You wonder once again, Neil Huntington picking up a pitcher, taking a shot because of something he and his staff have seen, the possibilities, and we hope it plays out for a long period of time this summer. But you see what Nicasio is capable of, so you get an idea what maybe they saw. Okay, this guy can do this. We have seen it, so he's capable of doing this. Let's get him and see if we can refine it into a more consistent approach. Simple as that. People that can do it, it's just a matter of how often they can do it at the major league level.
Joyce down the left field line, and there it goes. It just got out of here. Matt Joyce is in a 2-run pinch hit home run, and the Pirates double their lead. It's 4-0.
Just down the hallway and tucked into the closet at the end of the hallway. That's what you call course management right there.
Second pinch hit home run of the year for Matt Joyce. Fifth home run allowed by Hoover in 8+ innings. That one just sneaking right down the line.
Talk about how efficient Nicasio has been. How efficient is this? He's watching. This is like Carlton Fisk.
Stay fair, stay fair. Jaso a little flare, and Schebler on in Bermuda Triangle to retire it. But Matt Joyce with a big home run, and the Buccos up 4-0. Forward to Miller time. Later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Matt Joyce with his second pinch hit home run of the year, and it couldn't have been any closer.
How about this? Landed on top of the padded wall and kept on trucking.
Stay fair, stay fair. That doubles the lead, 4-0. That's a big home run. Second pinch hit home run already for Joyce. Sean Rodriguez will come in the game. He'll play over at first base. And pinch hitting for the Reds, pitcher Hoover. Jordan Pacheco facing Tony Watson.
Well, Tony Watson has spoiled us to the degree that the numbers, anything that is the left side of perfect, stands out. He's been that good.
So unusual to see him allow a home run to a left-handed batter. Parra homered off of him in his last outing. Only the second time that's ever happened. Of course, that was at Coors Field. Pacheco. This is going to be extra bases for the pinch hitter. Lead off double. Well, the Reds have had the leadoff man on now in 4 of the 8 innings and haven't cashed in yet.
Well, that's some pretty good hitting right there. That ball's downstairs. That's kind of a pitcher's pitch. But he goes down and gets it. Finds the gap. Loving that little extra wiggle room right now.
Another speedy Billy Hamilton.
As we said, no hit batters this evening, but that didn't miss by much.
On a strike on Hamilton. 0 for 1 tonight. Now the Pirates bullpen this year, this month really, since we're in the first month of the year, an ERA a touch less than what it was in July, just July last season. And I illustrate that because
it can't be perfect.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and last year they led all the baseball in ERA, did the Pirates bullpen. So,
and it's hard to do it 6 months. There's going to be a little bit of a valley at some point. It's hard to run the table in any component, any aspect of your game. Defense, offense, pitching, bullpen.
Now, if you see it continue, long into May, now we're starting to see a theme. But you look at the personnel involved and the track records, and
you're feeling pretty good.
You feel like it's an aberration to begin the year.
Just like those 2 fans, they're feeling good about this game right now.
Still 2-2 on Hamilton. That stung him. Pacheco not particularly fast at second.
Well, down 4 runs, you don't expect him to be particularly aggressive. Battle going on.
3 fouled off in a row now. Zach Cozart is on deck.
Yeah, the philosophy here, you get a leadoff double, you got a 4-0 lead. You got a guy in the number 9 spot. You'd like to get this out just to get a little something defensively established before you go back up to the top of the batting order, which is always a challenge, especially when you got a guy like Cozart who's off to a very good start. Get this out right here. This is a kind of little subtle, important out.
Yeah, you don't want to have 2 men on with nobody out and then
go up to the top.
Yeah.
Cozart. Yeah, they're looking for him. Yeah, let's get 1. Yeah, I heard that.
Michaela Lenhart is here with some of her friends. Going to WVU next year.
Hook
on the line again.
Hook.
This one doesn't have the Matt Joyce sting into it. And so we'll see a 10th pitch. The setback coming to Hamilton. Pacheco, the leadoff man, doubled. And he struck him out.
Hamilton not arguing, but not happy, perhaps at himself. Tony Watson makes a big pitch in this ball game, even though it looks like the Pirates are in control of the game and might have gotten a call. So maybe Billy Hamilton wasn't really happy with that call.
Arbor didn't trim the strike zone there.
But it's a good cut. Fastball by Mr. Watson.
We each owe $1.
Okay. Is that the story?
Touche, Steve. Touche. Cozart into the air to right. Routine play. Checo's not going anywhere. Look at that arm.
That's when it's fun. Let's turn it loose, Gregory. Have some fun with it. A little frustrating night with the bat for Gregory. He's thrown the ball twice. Okay, so let's have some fun throwing it.
Throwing it right on the line.
Yeah, this is when it's fun. There's not all that much at stake here. Let me see how good your arm really is.
Leadoff double still there with 2 outs. Now think about this. Suarez is no piece of cake, but you get him, then the 9th leads off with Joey Votto. That's a lot better, isn't it?
That's the way you'd like to write the script.
Instead of coming up with 2 men on.
Oh, how comfortable is this? There you go, Tony.
Reds have had the leadoff man on 4 times, and they've never moved. Still 4-0. Bottom of the 8th inning, and the Pirates own a 4-0 lead, trying to win their 5th in a row. And J.C. Ramirez on board for Cincinnati. Facing Andrew McCutchen to start off the frame. Hitless in 3 trips tonight. Three home runs on Tuesday. A couple of hits in the Pirates' last game on Wednesday. Matt Joyce with that 2-run pinch hit home run. adding to the margin. Second pinch hit home run already this year. We're still in April.
Is that nice and tidy down in the corner there?
Just got out of it. They give it 334 feet.
And some change.
And it counts for 2 runs. That's good. Tony Watson looking around that leadoff double. Popped up to shallow center. One away. And there's a good familiar face. Not active yet, still on the disabled list, but the fact that he's here means he's, I'm sure he's coming off soon. Been out for the duration of the season. Got hurt about halfway through spring training. Had a muscle strain in left lat. And had been pitching down in Indianapolis for 4 appearances down there. Last of which on Wednesday.
Just missed the way he comes in from the bullpen. It's like Paul Revere coming in. The ground balls are coming. The ground balls are coming.
And Archimedes Caminero, who earned his first major league save back on Sunday. This is not a save situation, so Melanson chance to rest after he pitched on Wednesday. We will see Garrett Cole on Monday against the Cubs.
Interesting to watch a really good bullpen man talking to a starter, just comparing notes, because the essence of pitching is about the same when you get down to cases. The subtleties of when you come into a game are obviously different, but talk about things you're trying to do. Maybe Tony, this is what it feels like. This is how it's supposed to feel. And Garrett, of course, knows how things are supposed to feel. And pitchers have that way of communicating, whether they're a starter or a bullpen guy.
Yeah, all anti-hitter.
Yeah. There's a very common thread.
Starling Marte, 2 out of 3 tonight. Doubled back in the 6th, singled in the 2nd. For nothing, the Pirates with a 2-out run scoring single from Freese. Josh Harrison homered in the 4th, a 2-run pinch hit home run by Joyce in the 7th. And Juan Nicasio tonight, 7 scoreless. Gave up 3 hits, walked 1, struck out 8. And Ray Searage, proud papa.
And the struggles continue for J.J. Hoover, an inning and a couple more runs. So that's like 8 2/3 with 15 earnings.
And 5 home runs. Ahead in the count. What do you do after hitting a home run? Harrison's homer tonight. He's also grooming. I mean, I could see Phil Niekro having one of those, you know, during a game, or Tim Wakefield, but knuckleballers.
Yeah, I think Joe Niekro got caught with an emery board in his back pocket.
It's okay if Harrison keeps one of those.
Yeah.
But a pitcher, I don't know. Late Joe Niekro, great knuckleballer as well.
I
Great
thought
tandem.
It's not only good that you clip your nails and then you buff them off with the emery, you smooth them off with the emery board.
And maybe put a little groove in the ball too here and there. Why not?
Yeah.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Some philosophies, right?
Well, yeah.
It's a token toss over there.
It's kind of signature for our fans here in Pittsburgh. You don't try pickoff plays against our guys. They get booed thoroughly. We got, what, well over 29,000 tonight?
Yeah, nearly 30 here tonight. The other 62 came by. Might have that assembly here tomorrow.
Plus.
The Pirates get ready to host the Cincinnati Reds. And you see game 2 of the series tomorrow. We'll start that at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason right here on Root Sports.
Boom crash after the game with the Zambelli fireworks.
On his t-shirt night, Francisco Cervelli.
Tomorrow night starter, Alfredo Simon.
And Iglesias goes Sunday.
Simon had a very, very difficult time out. Was it last time or 2 starts ago where he just got beat up to take that ERA up to around 15? Ouch.
He's had some rough goes of it early. If you're off to a good start, you're off to a good start. If you're off to a bad start, it's early.
That's right. And there's plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
There's a cliche for every situation in baseball. Every one.
And we've got them all, folks.
Yep.
So stay tuned.
Heard most of them last Sunday. For 5.5 hours.
Well, now McCutcheon's clipping his nails. We're on nail watch. Our cameramen have every angle covered. Now Dave Johnson's gonna get a little trim in, maybe. Yeah.
Is anybody warming up in the Cincinnati bullpen called Tyler Clippard?
He's not in the game, but you know who is here tonight? Man behind the plate right there, Sean Barber pulls out Cervelli. Man left. Pirates still up 4-0.
Presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
right, rocks for the Pirates. 3 outs away from raising it. 4-0. Juan Nicasio 7 strong and scoreless. Tony Watson, the 8th. Non-save situation. Caminero for the 9th.
You know, it's interesting. You go back to the Nicasio outing, and you saw Francisco Cervelli, kind of a short leash on him, kind of a little bit of tough love. I mean, not letting him stray away, trying to keep him focused and get that tunnel vision on, and that's good to see. That's perceptive by a catcher, knowing what type of approach you want to have and what kind of personality your pitcher is out there. Some guys you can kind of leave them alone, let them find themselves. Other guys you want to keep the the bridle kind of pulled tight, and a little bit of that from Cervelli tonight.
Kind of like that. Kind of stay in line.
You saw him kind of barking a little bit at Nicasio. That's part of Dr. Love's responsibilities.
I saw that great scoreboard skit earlier tonight. Votto aboard with his 2nd hit. Pirates have really limited the Reds. They have not had multiple base runners on tonight.
Here's Cervelli out. Let's go now. Come on. Lanson getting ready in case he's needed. But catchers have to know whether they give a pat on the back or a kick in the butt. You can do it with your foot or verbally.
He's trying to keep him in line with that delivery. You know, Caminero coming off of 3 straight scoreless starts.
He's only been really knocked around once. That was that Detroit outing. He's done okay.
Appearances, I mean.
Yep.
Not starts. That'd be a first. 101 there from Caminero. But if it's not a strike, you know, I mean, like he's got to stay in line right there.
Yeah. Nothing matters. Everything else is details. Getting the ball in the strike zone.
Earned his first career save on Sunday in that wild 13-inning 12-10 win. And he was talking about how he's picking up all of his teammates because that was the night that Melanson didn't convert the save.
Yep.
Feliz didn't convert the save. And he felt that I've got to do it for my teammates now, and he did.
Good example, too, of that approach by Brandon Phillips. Turned around and pulled that 100-mile-an-hour fastball foul. So these guys can get the bat started early. No doubt about that. That's 101. That was in a great spot. There's not much wiggle room for a hitter when the guy's throwing 100 miles an hour. If he stays out of the middle part of the zone, you're in trouble. You can turn on the ball, but you got to be doing 2 things: looking for it and getting a very hittable location. Now he's throwing the ball, and he's not throwing it in that middle of the strike zone. He's on the outer part of those window panes.
Another 101. Jay Bruce, another threat to follow. The Reds don't go away easy, but tonight the Pirates have made it look that way. Nothing in the 9th. Just couldn't hold on.
Close, but no cigar. Look, I think that's not a tough location at 101 miles an hour. It's going to be ball 3, but if you want to catch up with that kind of speed, you've got to start your swings a little bit early, and if it's not in the strike zones, it's you're done because the swing has already started. It's already begun.
What a play by Rodriguez, and he'll get the lead out.
And that's just baseball sense. He's flat on his belly facing second base. Nothing going to happen in back of him. It's going to be awfully awkward to do anything at first base. He had a play, and it was at second base. Took it. Never hesitated.
That's the second time the right side of the infield's made a diving stop.
That's all that's available right there. That's all. Gets it done, makes it look easy.
Harrison did that back in the fourth. We talk about, pitching wins championships. Hey, the defense. Pirates led the league in errors the last 2 years. We're not seeing that at all here in April.
No errors in this ball game tonight.
Brewers tonight 1 for 3. Almero behind. I don't think Cervelli's as happy as he was a few minutes ago. Bring it right down the line, son. And now a strike. Just a quiet leader. Who's got the fiercer look? Why is he calling time right there?
Didn't like what he called. I think he had second thoughts about the pitch selection.
And off speed. And Bruce maybe sensing that. Willing to take if he's guessing that they're going to switch off the fastball. Perhaps. Well, if a man gets on, it becomes a safe situation with the tying run on deck.
This is one of those zero tolerance situations.
Popped him up.
And that will take a while to come down. Here it comes.
That's a big lid pop up. And that's the second out.
All right, you're going to get a lot of people standing up right now.
All rise. We'll get through the heart of the order. Tucker Barnhart, last man standing for the Reds. And everybody's standing here at PNC Park. The Pirates, and out away from winning 5 in a row. Barnhart 0 for 3 tonight. Another century mark from Caminero. Phillips will take second. Down 4.
I don't think they're going to fool around with much other than the fastball here. I mean, for the rest of the duration.
There's another one.
Might have got a call there, but doesn't matter. You got the call. Doesn't matter why.
Josh Harrison with a home run already today. Now a strike away from victory.
You know, I don't care. I just love seeing people throw 100 miles an hour. I just really dig it. I love it. It's just fun to watch.
Caminero trying to put the cherry on top of this shutout bid. 2-2.
One more souvenir. The Parrott's ready. Put a lid on this thing.
Deep, and McCutchen can't get to it. And the Reds a strike away from being blanked. Tucker Barnhart with a double, and the Reds now within 3.
And that's going to be it.
Twisting and a turning. Pitching change here in the 9th. Mark Melancon coming on. One of inches. Matt Joyce with the home run by that many, and just that close to a shutout. Tucker Barnhart doubling off the glove of Andrew McCutchen.
Yep, well, the combination of these guys are playing shallower, and now you're forced to go back and then kind of making a wrong turn. That combination keeps it alive for the Reds.
So it becomes a save situation. We see Mark Melancon. Last pitch in the Pirates' last game on Wednesday, and earned save number 5. Just needs 1 out in this one. And they've been standing. Nearly 30,000 attending tonight. The Pirates been out away from win number 5 in a row. Bring your sweater.
And bring your closer.
Scott Schebler. Last chance for Cincinnati in the 9th. And strike 1. Lefty batters were at Melancon's mercy last year. They hit 138 against him and didn't slug much better. In the air to right.
When that comes down, it's over.
The Pirates have won 5 in a row. Mark Melancon was save number 6. Harrison with a home run. And the Buccos start the homestand with a victory.
Well, that's the way to come home. You come home with your home fans. You put together 4 wins in a row. Okay, what's it going to be like after arena baseball? Well, it was a well-played baseball game for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Nice, solid win for the Bucks. Great way to start the homestand.
5 straight wins. The Bucks 5 games over 500 with the victory tonight. Matt Joyce with that 2-run pinch hit home run. And the Buccos now 14-9 to begin 2016. That's it from here at PNC Park. Let's go to our studios with Rob and Teak.